Yo, what's going on, you guys, and welcome back to the Anime Plus podcast. This is your podcast for everything anime and anime related. And yo, if this is your first time here, I'm your boy Aray, and I'm with my co-host Owen. I want to say what's up.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
All
How you
right,
doing, brother?
I'm not gonna lie, Owen, bro, and everyone out there. This is honestly a very sad episode, very different than our usual episodes where we kind of fuck around and have fun. Today, we found out some really sad and heartbreaking news. I'll be honest, it's been pretty tough. Uh, honestly, it was hard for us to record this podcast, man. I know that this is gonna get really deep, so yeah, I mean, bear with us, but I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Our one of our favorite mangaka, the one that was the most influential of them all, Akira Toriyama, the mangaka behind Dragon Ball, has passed away at the age of 68. Very sad news. He was very influential, and it's heartbreaking because a lot of us grew up with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and yeah, I mean, bro, it's just tough out here, man. But yeah, oh, and I'll let you take the mic over here, bro, real quick.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got you. As the person that actually hasn't watched Dragon Ball too much, I could give like a different kind of perspective on this. I just want to say firstly, like, bro, Dragon Ball Z, man. This is the first anime I ever heard of, you know? This was before I even knew what anime was. I knew what Dragon Ball was. It's weird to say because I was so young when I used to see like those episodes of Dragon Ball air. I forgot what channels it was. I was so young, I didn't even know what channels we were on. But I remember like late night, I would just see like Dragon Ball Z episodes here and there. It would just be like I remember a couple things. Um, it was like what I remember were huge like monkeys, like not monkeys, but like beasts with like tails. I have no context on what it was, but all I know is that was the first time I ever seen anything like animated, and that's anything besides Pokemon. I would say that's the first thing, and I think that even though it wasn't my first anime per se, I think it still warmed me up to the aspect of anime. And I know as my first anime was One Piece, I know Oda took a ton of things from Dragon Ball. I know they were in the same like studio, right? Funimation made both.
I believe so.
Yeah, and like the I know a lot of the noises were very similar in terms of the old noises from One Piece. Like the whenever you see somebody like jetting, they go like zoom like that. I think that's also from Dragon Ball. But just generally, bro, you remember the time where you like even now you can talk to anybody. If you say the words Kamehameha, they know exactly what it means. Like, bro, we're talking about people that don't know anime. You ask this shit to Stephen A. Smith, he'll probably know what Kamehameha is, bro. Like, bro, literally, that's how influential Dragon Ball Z is. And it's to the point where it's not even part of the big three. It's literally the father of the big three. Dragon Ball Z is the father of all anime. And bro, even though I haven't watched it, every single person that I know, like majority of the people that I know, either know about it, have seen it, or have been affected by it in some way. Firstly, and secondly, like bro, the dude was only 60 something. That's honestly not that old. You know what I mean? It's really not.
Yeah.
My father is in his mid 60s, early 60s. So him like passing away so young relative to like how old we get now is it's pretty sad and just heartbreaking because he's one of the biggest and if not most influential mangakas of all time. I know Oda took um many like he took inspiration from Dragon Ball. I know he took it from Naruto too, but definitely Dragon Ball. And it's a show that's been going on for so long. Dragon Ball is probably one of the only pieces of literature slash anime that One Piece could have taken something from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we'll talk about um an excerpt or like a letter that Oda and the creator of Naruto they both wrote regarding Akira Toriyama. He was their sensei in a lot of ways. obviously directly, but not just that. You know, obviously we talked about the influence and all that. So we'll talk about that later on. You know, I'll read that out, and you know, we'll kind of take that to heart. But I want to say back to what you're saying about like Dragon Ball in general. Um, I feel like his work was so deep, but it really wasn't taking. He wasn't really taking it that seriously in the sense that he was doing this out of passion. You know what I mean? Like to him, it felt like it was like a comic. You know what I mean? Like if you remember early Dragon Ball or even his first series, Doctor Slump, it was very chill, funny, and it felt more like a comic. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of series nowadays take a lot of aspects out of that his original concept behind his manga, and they kind of just put that all together. And you know that's one small area of his influence that we can see off the bat. Obviously he shaped the manga community and the new generation of writers, and even newer generation after that. You know what I mean? We talk about how One Piece is, you know, the next up after Dragon Ball, you know, Naruto alongside, and how you said it was like the father. You know, even the next generation after One Piece, where you got Chainsaw Man and all these other anime, you know, Dragon Ball has had influence over them as well. I mean, he's a living legend. You know what I mean? Like he did so much things for the anime and manga community. No, I feel like we should definitely celebrate all his work rather than talk about like, you know, the series in general. But other than that, I mean, like, bro, Dragon Ball was so big worldwide. I mean, we talk about it. You talked about it earlier, how you said anyone will talk about it. It got to a point where my father used to watch it with me and my little bro, and he even knows the whole Kamehameha. He knows the
Damn, bro.
name. It's crazy, bro. Like my dad's in his like mid 50s. You know what I mean? Like he don't be watching TV. He didn't grow up with TV actually, but for him to know like Dragon Ball and all that is kind of crazy, you know? Like he would buy us stuff. I remember I dressed up as Goku one day for Halloween. Next year I did Naruto, I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, that's sick. That's sick, bro. That's sick. You had the yellow hair or no?
Yeah, bro. It was like a one day dye, it was fire.
Oh, you dyed your hair actually?
Yeah.
Nah, that's sick, bro. I was
I think
expecting like a wig or something.
I think it
That's
was like
sick.
kindergarten. Nah, we're gonna be crazy.
Nah, I expected like the spiky hair wig. But my man went a whole step closer and just dyed his hair. That's sick, bro. Low key, I'm trying to see my boy Eric with some yellow hair. That'd be sick of that. Oh my god. I
I might
feel
have to
like
bring it back.
yeah,
I might have to.
you might have to, bro, in remorse for my boy. But damn, I was just about to say something. I kind of forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah. In terms of like, I feel like in terms of merch and just like awareness and everything, Dragon Ball was so like so out there since the beginning, bro. Like everybody, like I would see so many people wearing like, I feel like it also like appropriated gym stuff. You know, it was a start
For
to the
sure.
gym goers merch because you would always see like Goku on like people's shirts and on people's shorts and whatnot. I'd always see like I'd always see like Dragon Ball like the balls itself because I live in New York, right? So I always see like people out in the streets be selling like anime stuff, and sometimes I'd be seeing people selling the balls and whatnot. But generally, bro, I think they made way for anime merch and anime like representation as a whole, and you know that comes with our that goal in general, you know, big making the biggest anime community and whatnot. But they're the guys who started it, you know, they're the godfathers of anime. And just want to quickly just pay some respects because if it wasn't for them, we don't even know. If it wasn't for the creator of Dragon Ball, we don't know where anime would be today. Realistically, imagine there was another anime that was, you know, the first one or like the first big one. That
Yeah,
could have changed the whole trajectory of how anime was consumed, how Shonen Jump was created, all that stuff. I think because Dragon Ball Z had such like core concepts and it was such a like iconic anime, so many other animes based their tropes off of what was going on in Dragon Ball in general. Even if you could see it through Luffy and Naruto, you know, main character being kind of dumb but very smart in fights, extremely, you know, fighting for their friends, all that stuff. Oh, and the one thing I wanted to say was he is low key the godfather of fucking transformations, bro. Like we get gear 2, gear 3, gear 4, gear 5, right? But
Mhm.
who's the one who started all this shit? You know, the actual transformations. Like I don't know too many transformations realistically, but I know Super Saiyan. I've known Super Saiyan since I was a kid. You know, I've heard Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Like, I've heard so many different variations, but he's the one who started all this like hype behind the transformations. We literally had Gear 5 last year, and there was so much hype behind it. And what was the the transformation that broke the internet for Dragon Ball?
Was it Super Saiyan God or I know what you're talking about. Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, exactly. That's like it paved the way for us to get hype over these type of moments. You know what I mean?
Dude, so kind of just piggybacking off that, like you talked about how he was kind of like the forefather of anime and it wouldn't be what it is today. You know, that's totally 100% true. In terms of anime, like obviously it's Tezuka, you know, the guy that came out with Astro Boy, whatever. The next generation or next up was Akira Toriyama, and he's really what blew up anime worldwide. If it wasn't for him, honestly, I don't think anyone in the West would really be into anime the same way. You know, obviously Naruto came next, and that did very well. That was more of my generation. I'd say I was like a mix between the both of Dragon Ball and Naruto, kind of in between. But like in terms of like general acceptance and overall like widespread of anime in the West and probably other countries. I can't speak for other countries, but Dragon Ball was really the big headliner right here. And then I'd say like Naruto would be, you know, a little bit behind that, but still Dragon Ball was definitely way out there and it really brought a lot of influence. You know, you talked about how everyone's wearing the training outfits and whatnot. I know you didn't watch Dragon Ball, but the original orange outfit is basically catered for Goku and Krillin, whoever trains under Master Roshi. And that was kind of like a training outfit, you know what I mean? Um, he
Oh yeah.
also he also had the thing where he would wear like heavy weights. You remember the Rock Lee versus Gara fight where Rock Lee like threw off the weights?
Oh yeah, that's from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, so Goku would used to have weights and stuff, and he would do like the zero gravity training, and
Damn. So that inspired that iconic moment,
I mean, probably because that was like a pretty big moment in Dragon Ball.
bro. That was such an iconic moment when, like, bro, Rock Lee took off his fucking weights, and you see the weights go down to the floor, hit the floor as if they're like millions of pounds each. And then you just see my boy Rock Lee go demon mode. My man was cutting up. My man was swimming, bro. I swear to God. But um,
I mean, dude, that just goes to show like how all of his like the small inspirations that all these manga get from Akira Toriyama, like they transform into like huge like iconic moments. Like that Rock Lee moment that we were talking about, that's like cemented in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, that's the best moment of young Naruto for me. Young Naruto, Sasuke versus Naruto is nothing compared to Rock Lee versus Gaara. And I don't know if that's just me, but that like the suspense building up to it because it was a tournament and everything, and then bro, Gaara was just untouchable. Remember, like that whole um the first in the tuning exams, the first part, he finished that shit in like an hour or two, and everybody was like, he was done before everybody else. He was hyped, and then we got to the point where like it was like good versus evil, Gara versus Rock Lee, hard training versus Jinchuriki type thing, and it got to a point where Rock Lee was getting his shit rocked, but then he took off the motherfucking weights and it was game over, bro. I remember that moment. I'm like, bro, this was one of the most hype moments, first of all, in anime history in terms of just fights. And it was for me the best fight in Naruto, like the beginning Naruto. And I would say top three fights or top five fights in all of Naruto in general for me. Just because of the sentimental value it held, the hype, like the hype that they brought before, and then that moment just where we were just because we didn't know this was a thing, right? We didn't know that he can go one level up. The fact that that happened, bro, it made the fight so much better. And again, one of the most iconic moments in Naruto, inspired by my boy, the author of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But do you wanna get into what the author of Naruto wrote about him?
Yeah, dude, I was just thinking about that. So here's his excerpt right here. I don't know if it was like a letter or a tweet. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I'll leave a link in the description of where I've read this. But here it is, right? So this is what his message was saying. Um, to be honest, it was so sudden, I don't know what or how to write about this. However, for now, I would like to express my thoughts and feelings to Toriyama Sensei, which I wish I could have told him someday. I grew up with Dr. Slump in the lower grades of elementary school and Dragon Ball in the higher grades, and it was natural for his manga to be a part of my life.
That's crazy, bro. Like, think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. The guy that we grew up watching, right? Naruto. We grew up watching Naruto. He grew up watching Dragon Ball.
Right.
That's insane, bro. Holy shit.
Bro, wait till you hear Oda's part, bro. Both of these are like insane, bro. It really puts you into like perspective of like how influential he was on these other mangaka.
And the fact that he called him sensei, like, with it, that's
Mhm.
just mad respect. Mad respect.
All right, all right. I'm gonna keep reading it, all right?
Yeah.
All right. Even if something bad happened every week, Dragon Ball made me forget about it. It was a solace for me, a country boy with nothing to do. It was because I enjoyed Dragon Ball so much. It was when I was a university student, suddenly Dragon Ball, which had been a huge part of my life for many years, ended. I felt an incredible sense of loss and didn't know what to look forward to. But at the same time, it was an opportunity for me to truly understand the greatness of the author who created Dragon Ball. I thought I also want to create works like yours, and I want to be like you. And as I aspired to become a manga author, following in your footsteps, that feeling of loss began to disappear. It was because making comics was fun. I was able to find a new enjoyment by following you in your footsteps. You have always been my guide. I admire you. I'm sorry for the inconvenience this may cause you, but I am grateful to you. For me, you are the god of salvation and the god of manga. When we met for the first time, I was so nervous I couldn't say a word. However, after meeting you many times at the Tezuka Prize Screening Committee, I became able to talk to you. I will never forget the embarrassed smile you gave when two uh, Oda and I, two Dragon Ball children, became children again. And as if we were competing, we talked excitedly about how much fun Dragon Ball is. Just received the news of your passing. I felt an even greater sense of loss than when Dragon Ball ended. I still don't know how to deal with this hole in my heart. I can't even read my favorite Dragon Ball. I don't feel like I've been able to properly write what I want to say to you in this statement. Everyone around the world was still looking forward to seeing your work. If I could make one wish with the Dragon Balls, I'm sorry. Maybe that's selfish in me, but I'm sad. Toriyama Sensei. Thank you to Akira Toriyama Sensei for all your enjoyable works over the past 45 years, and thank you very much for your hard work.
Damn, bro. This man is a goat, bro. The fact that, first of all, he inspired two of the biggest, like, animes ever. Secondly, like, bro, these guys were like fanboys. Like, the way, like, I don't want to use that, the word fanboy to describe like the author of Naruto,
Yeah.
but this just goes to show you how much of a legend the author of Dragon Ball was. That literally the authors of One Piece and the authors of Naruto are out here mm, fanboying him. They couldn't even speak to him in the beginning because that's how, like, shook they were. But eventually, obviously, they became friends. And they became like they had a very very like extremely good relationship and whatnot. But this is one thing I want to say to all the viewers: if you have somebody in your life that you cherish, that adore, whether that be your kids, whether that be your brothers and sisters, whether that be your parents, just go say what you want to them now, because life is short, right? And you never know what's gonna happen. And I don't really like talking about stuff like this. And you guys know me, I'm a goofy ass guy. I don't really talk about death and stuff like that. But it's something that is inevitable, and just go out there, say what you want to do what you want to do, and say what you want, because you don't know, um, what's gonna happen. Like, if just go hug your brother and sister, go kiss your mom and dad. You never know what's gonna happen. So always, don't take the people in your life for granted, and just spread love. And yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, man, we'll read Oda's part and then we'll talk about that, and then I guess we'll talk about the last works that Toriyama was working on, and then we'll end the pod. All right. So this is what Oda wrote. It's too soon. The hole he left is too large. The thought of never seeing him again fills me with sadness. I've admired him so much since I was a child, and even remember the day when he called me by my name for the first time. I also fondly remember the days when Kishimoto-san, again, this is the author of Naruto, Kishimoto. I also fondly remember the days when Kishimoto-san and I were giddy on our way home when he called us friends. I also remember the last conversation we had. He's one of the people who took the baton from an error. Oh, the baton, sorry. Who took the baton from an era when it was said reading manga would make you stupid, and created an era where both adults and children could read and enjoy manga. He showed me you can do things like this with manga. You can go around the world. It was like watching a hero push forward. The wonder and excitement when Dragon Ball was first published is probably rooted in the childhoods of not only manga authors, but also creatives in all industries. His presence is that of a great tree. For manga authors of my generation who have stood on the same stage, the closer we got to Toriyama's works, the more I realized how great his presence was. It was awe inspiring. But I was just happy to see the easygoing man time and time again because we love Toriyama sensei to our bones. I would like to express my respect and gratitude to the richly creative world Toriyama Sensei left behind, and pray for his soul to rest in peace with the bottom of my heart. I hope heaven will be a pleasant world as you envisioned it. But yeah, that was honestly, both these were like super deep. I mean, you can see the love and respect and admiration and even inspiration that they got from Toriyama. And honestly, like like Ono was saying before, we could all relate to this feeling. To them, this is obviously life changing to them because they followed their dreams and they were able to live it out. All looking at one man and kind of, just looking up to him and kind of learning by example, but also by becoming his friends. Oda mentioned that he was so happy when Toriyama called him and Kishimoto his friends, and you can really see like how much of an impact he had on both those series, like if we're talking anime, but also like as a person, so, and as a creator as well. So obviously it does strike a chord. Obviously there's also a lot of other authors and mangakas and editorial teams and companies and production studios that have also left very heartfelt messages. I would love to go through them all, but they're just all so sad. And it's honestly, bro, this is a very hard episode for us because, like Owen said before, we usually fuck around and shit. But, we had to pay our respects for Toriyama because he was so influential. Me and Owen probably would not be doing an anime podcast if it wasn't for Toriyama, as crazy as that sounds. But it's just facts. And, he really put us all on the West, you could say. But let's talk about some of his works on. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, before he passed away, he was working on the Dragon Ball Daima anime series. That's coming out in fall 2024. That was just recently announced, like last week or so. So, like just a week after he passed away.
Damn, bro, that's crazy.
It's kind of
Bro,
sad,
that's
but
crazy.
yeah. So I'll
Even though he's
definitely be
not here, like his art is still gonna be here and be remembered by millions and millions of people.
for sure.
Um,
It's timeless. Like there's some anime that you could say that you can't. It doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? Um, like it's not timeless, but Dragon Ball is so timeless. It's got funny moments that will literally last a lifetime. So yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, Dragon Ball Daima is dropping fall 2024. I'll definitely be checking that out. And then also Sandland, that was like a live action of one of his manga that he created a while back. That's gonna be out very soon. If not, it's already out. But yeah, what are your thoughts on real quick?
Bro, all I'm gonna say is if you, you're a straight legend, if you're like this reminds you of, it's weird to say, but like Pop Smoke or Juice World, even when they died, their music was still getting released because that's
Yeah,
how much of a legend they are, and that's how much like people love what they do. And even though he passed away, and may his soul rest in peace. His art and his soul is still going to be, you know, living throughout all of us and through the future works of mangaka and animators around the world, you
Mm.
know? Just like how One Piece, bro, One Piece is still going on. One Piece is still gonna carry the flame for him, bro. Like, even though it's like not to boast about One Piece or anything, but One Piece was just the beginning, you know what I mean? One
Mm.
Piece was just the beginning, and every anime that will ever come out will have his soul attached to it, and it's kind of crazy, bro, because it's not it's not like it's like a book, right? It's like he created a book, like books, because anime is it's a medium. It's a whole different, like, I know technically he didn't create anime, right? I'm not saying he did, but he brought anime into he basically anime was something that was covered in dirt and something that wasn't seen. It was in a chest somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what he did was basically open up that chest and allow everybody to come and see what was going on. He created a new era. He created a new medium that honestly wasn't really absorbed till like in masses till the past 5 years.
Right. You
Like
know,
now anime is getting, very popular, it's getting mainstream. Before it was like, the weebs gotta go in, figure it out. Now it's like it's everywhere. You got basketball players talking about it, you got football players, celebrities, you got literally everybody and anybody. We had Meg the Stallion, well, she was like the award host or something.
yeah, yeah, the Crunchyroll Awards.
Yeah, like Meg the Stallion. Like what? It's like two different worlds combining. But the fact that like many people probably won't see him as that culture king, but for all anime fans out there, we know what he brought to the table, and we know who the real culture king is. You know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, all we can really do is respect him and be grateful for what he brought to us. We can talk about Akira Toriyama, his greatness, his legacy, his influence, and his success, and just overall his goatness for literally forever. But yeah, I think this is where this pod ends because I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not an emotional person, but this was really hard for me to do just because, like I said before, I grew up on this. My dad watched it with me. You know, Akira Toriyama is really a bridge of a relationship between me and my dad and my brother, just because we all, in a way, grew up on Dragon Ball, and we all loved it, and it connected us. So it's kind of crazy to say, but in a way, Toriyama really helped my, I guess, my family dynamic. I don't know, whatever, but yeah, it is deep, bro, and it is very sad to see him go. 68 years old was is very young. Man, I just wish the best for him, his family, and I just want to say thank you, Akira Toriyama. But yeah, it's gonna be
So
it for this
thank
episode.
you, Akira Toriyama.
Yeah,
Damn, it's like it's hard, it's heavy hitting, but instead of looking at the negatives, bro, we just gotta respect my guy for what he did and just pay tribute to all like the pieces of work, for all the people he inspired, and for just literally creating and emphasizing the genre or the medium of anime. Thank you so much, because honestly, if it wasn't for him, we would not be here, and y'all probably wouldn't have been even listening to this. So I think that wraps it up, my boy.
yeah, it does. All right, that's gonna end this episode. Again, I know this was very deep and different than our usual episodes, but we'll be back to our news edition podcast and our regular podcast after that. We do have one exciting that's coming up in like 2 or 3 weeks, where we talk about the new anime series of the new season. So I'm hyped for that. So yeah, make sure y'all stay tuned. Hit us up on our Discord if you guys want to chat. But yeah, it's gonna be it for this episode, and we'll catch you guys in that. Peace.
Peace.